Hello my treasures, it's time for a new Hearthstone deck. This time it's going to be covering Battlecry Shaman, which is a deck that I've been wanting to do for quite a while now, but waited until Astalor Bloodsworn actually got a nerf, and it turns out it isn't a big enough nerf. So we're going to do this deck now. You might be thinking, why do this in Shaman instead of Druid? Druid has a much easier time of using Alistair. Turns out Shaman actually has way more ways to duplicate his Battlecry through things like Bullner or Brilliant Macaws, and just so happen to have 2 Amalgam of the Deeps in your hand, you can get 4 Battlecrys off of Alistair instead of 2, which is incredibly powerful and will kill off most opponents. While also having a bunch of backup plans in the form of Sire de Nathria, Bru'kan of the Elements, Mutanus, or even your Kazakus in order to duplicate their Battlecrys if you really need to. For the Mulligan guide of the deck, you are going to be looking for cards that will easily set up some really good evolve turns, such as Muck Pools, Schooling in combination with a Gold Shire Null. Clownfish is also really good to keep in your opening hand as it allows you to discount a lot of cards. Primal Wave can act as a early game removal tool while also making your board a lot harder to kill. So things like Maze Guide and Sleepbreaker are also really good to keep in your opening hand, as they'll allow you to have more targets to actually hit with a Primordial Wave. Things that will also draw you into additional cards are really good to keep in your opening hand too. With that all being said, let's look at some games. Alright, time for a game against DK. I wonder which version this is going to actually be, because there seems to be a lot more variety in what Death Knights are playing nowadays. Though I do wish they weren't all just pure Death Knights. That would be a little bit more fun, but it is what it is. We're going to keep everything except for the command of Neptulon. Getting Schooling, which is much better, especially if it is a aggro Death Knight deck. Ooh. Iron Deep Trog, if they don't have any way to buff that up, we're not in the worst position. Now, I'm considering using the Elven Archer here, mainly due to the fact that we would only have to do 1 additional damage, but they'd instantly be able to kill it with their hero power, so we're just going to pass the turn back. They're going to get 2 damage in on us this turn, but that doesn't really matter too much. Let's use one of the Schoolings just to give us some bodies, and then we can clear out their board next turn. Because I very much doubt that they will have anything to make additional copies of the Trog or buff them up to a place where we can't kill both at the same turn. And this does feed up into our Fool, which is actually really nice. Might as well put the 3rd one down just to put the 3rd one down. Let's kill one there and then kill the other one so we don't have to worry about that. Just go there. Probably shouldn't have done that, but it is what it is. Oh, let's coin out the other Schooling just so we have some more in our hand. Our Fool will be completely online next turn, which is really nice, and it does give us a nice turn 5 play. Oh, Vampiric Blood. I did not want to see Blood Death Knight. Of all the Death Knight decks it could have been, that is probably the one that could be the most problematic. Oh, why did it have to hit Bullner? That makes math a little bit harder. Well, I guess we can kill the far watch post and then kill that with the other one. I kind of want to try to make a watch post deck work. It's one of those build around cards that I just haven't touched since it originally came out, and I don't know how useful it is because it only gives you 5/5s, and that isn't really that powerful nowadays. Okay, do we want to draw 3 cards, or do we want to use Astalor plus Elven Archer to get rid of the body? This doesn't overdraw us any cards, so we might as well do it. Gorlak is interesting for later. It does get into some mana cheat, which is really nice. Ooh, Gold Charge. Well, we can put down Muck Pools. We don't really have any good targets for it. I guess the Gorlak... Oh, no, we could target the Fool. Out of all the cards, if we were behind, this would be really good, but we aren't behind, so we need to empty our hand out a little bit, and I don't know how we do it, sadly, because everything in our hand gives us an additional card except for literally everything. Everything gives us more cards. We don't need more cards. We're burning something. We have... The funny thing is we have most of the combo in hand anyway, so we're not too worried about burning a card. Ooh, Farsight, yeah, Command's fine to burn. Oh, Howling Blast, come on, kill. Oh, there goes Kazakus. I really wanted to show him off. I think he's another one of those cards that I'm going to have to revisit in other classes too. I think Rogue is probably the only other class that you can easily abuse him as much as this one. But I'm trying to figure out what you would do with him. Well, the null is nice for next turn. And I just noticed we have a Brilliant Macaw that they're going to instantly kill, which sucks, but it is what it is. Yeah, what other classes could I use Kazakus in? Rogue. Rogue makes a lot of sense because of Shadow Step. Shadow Step is a problem with the Rogue. Oh, we can put down the null. We have 8 mana. We can... Oh, gotta love having Rush. Okay, now, how do we want to do this? Do we want to waste the Bolner, or do we want to waste the Brand? Or do we not want to waste either of them? Let's just hit Brand down. Now we get 2, and just pass it back to them. Aw, come on, you didn't want to stick around? Alright, time for a game against Druid. Woohoo, this opening hand I actually don't like. Schooling is nice, but the other 2 cards can probably go away. A Venomous Scorpid and Amalgam of the Deep. What can we do with these 2 cards? Amalgam doesn't do anything by itself. Scorpid could get us something. Well, I guess we can just use the Schooling. As much as that sounds like a bad idea, but we just, I don't know. There's nothing else we could have done on turn 1. It doesn't look like they're probably going to be aggro, which is a good sign for us. Since we don't, well, we have the Schooling in hand to get rid of. Oh, they're just going to pass it back. Hey, just going to put down the Muck Pools. So the ramp, let's see what we can get here. Oh, let's go with the wave. The wave could be actually really, really good for later. Because if it is big Druid, then we need something to deal with all the buffs that they're going to put down. Oh, they're going to ramp up a little bit. Oh, Farsight. Now, Farsight could draw us into something funny. Come on, give us something cool. Out of all the minions that we could have drawn into, it had to be Prince Renethal. Just had to be Prince Renethal. Let's evolve him. I guess we got 1 additional attack off of that. If we had to wait to bounce it back to our hand, it might be good, but I just not that good. Oh, actually, that's perfectly timed. We can just hit their face with it, and we'll hero power and then go face. Might as well put 1 of the Swarmers down so we can start ramping the damage up next turn. Well, there is the AoE buff that I was worried about earlier. Oh, Bolner's funny. We don't need him right now. Now, how do we want to do this? We can do that, and then we can put down 1 Swarmer, then attack into that with the other, then just go face. And okay, so they're the same cost. We're going to evolve Edwin. Okay, that's interesting. I don't know. I mean, if they can't get rid of our entire board before they kill the ghoul, that's actually pretty good for us in the long run, but not the best evolve target just because it is the death rattle. Oh, Elven Archer. Okay. Let's draw a few cards. This does start to set up our perfect combo. Well, not the perfect combo. The perfect combo would be Brilliant Macaws plus Bran and Bolner, but I mean, this is going to be a very close second for perfect. Because we have 8 mana next turn, so we can use Clownfish plus Alistair, or I'll never get his name right. I'm just going to keep calling him Alistair because it's ingrained in my head now. Well, Brilliant Macaw's funny. Another way we can duplicate the Battlecry if we really, really need to. There's 1 Alistair. Then we have Clownfish. Oh, actually, no, let's just use the Brilliant Macaw. Actually, to be honest, we probably should have used the Clownfish. But this allows us to evolve this without worrying too much. Okay, that's an interesting evolved target. Not necessarily what I would have wanted, but if it keeps getting shuffled into our deck, why not? Free damage is free damage. The light is on our side, I guess, today. I'm just worried that they're going to spew out a ton of damage and we won't be able to answer it. So they are thinking about something. Oh, that's not the biggest devourer I've seen. I saw I think it was 40 attack, 44 HP earlier. Wow, the light really is on our side. top decked straight into it. Well, this would be a little bit of a shame, but at the same time, we probably should have used the Brilliant Macaw before. Let's evolve everything. Come on. Why did we have to give them charge? Well, that could have been a lot better for us, or a lot worse. That also reminds me, the caravans exist, and I don't think I've ever done a video with all of them. I'm trying to think of which caravans I've used. The priest one I've used in Thief, I'm pretty sure. The warlock one I might have tried to use at some point, and the hunter one I definitely never have used. That's one I always forget exists. It's because it's beginning of turn instead of end of turn. They're just so useless. Okay, ooh, that could actually stop us. Hate people who do that though, when they wait until the last second. Okay, how do we want to do this? We're going to want to try to minimize the amount of damage that we're going to have to do. So this is going to be 2 Battlecrys, and we're just going to put this down. Won't really do much. Here's a grand total of 4, and we still haven't managed to defeat them. Still pretty impressive. I guess we're firing quite a barrage right there. Probably would have defeated any other opponent if it wasn't Druid. Oh, the animation is a little bit lagging behind. That's kind of cool. Okay, they're at 14. Come on. Don't heal yourself for a lot. You can put down the last Astalor and then use Brilliant Macaw. Oh, Devour number 2. That could hurt a little bit. Oh, actually, will it? Also, probably should have attacked here first, but I didn't realize. Let's devour something in their hand, preferably their Astalor, to get rid of the Wincon. Om nom nom. That isn't what we wanted. I mean, it's a 14-14, which is pretty good, given the fact that they're at 14 HP. Doesn't solve the one condition problem. They're drawing a bunch of spells. Oh, Underking. Ooh. Now, we have Brilliant Macaw, which could be incredibly funny. Primordial Wave. Let's go face. Threat. So much damage. Oh, we have Brilliant Macaw for the 5th and 6th Astalor of the game. Battle of Astalor, I guess. Who can win? A puny shaman or a druid, who are notorious for abusing the card the most? Come on, just don't heal too much. They use both devourers, so they can't devour our board. Oh, if we actually had to deal with the Sire, that might be a problem, but it didn't kill anything, and we have lethal in hand, I think. Let's just go face, or they can do. Yes, we do. This Bru'kan is Bru'kan. All it took was 6 Astalors and 1 Bru'kan. Alright, time for a game against Mage. Actually, for an open hand, not too bad. Elven Archer might be the only thing I might want to get rid of. It's a card that I'm almost considering cutting out of the deck completely. I think I would replace it with Mailbox Dancer. It does fill up the 2 slot, which we have a bunch of, but it does serve as a really good evolve target and a way for mana cheat in the deck. The archers don't really help us with, but you probably could make some room for the Mailbox Dancer some other way. Maybe the maze runners would probably be another safe bet to get rid of. Do we want to get rid of the watch post is the question. Oh, there's the muck pools. Muck pools is nice if we draw into a null, but let's just do a sleep breaker. Oh, perfect. Our win condition already. Exactly what we needed to see. Let's just put down all the swarmers. Let's kill that so we don't have to worry about them increasing the cost of anything. There goes the last swarmer. That's a little bit of a shame, but we still have the 3-2. I'd rather have that up, to be honest. Okay, let's far sight. Ooh, Rotgill. Rotgill is incredible. Oh, there's the null. That's exactly what we needed to see. Rotgill, though, is incredibly funny in this deck, especially if you can get some of the swarmers out on the board with something like Glug, because then you have just an entire wide board, and if they don't have a way to answer and silence everything, you're in an incredibly good position. That's a lot of ifs, but it happens a lot more often than you would have thought. Well, we're just going to null the dancer away, I guess. You could say he's null and void. Use the muck pools. Let's see what we grab. Mucking up this game. I would have preferred something with rush, but a 12-12 on turn 5 is actually pretty nice. Another card I also need to make a deck around, aka discard. Warlock is probably the only home that card could ever home in, and I don't think he'd be that good anyways in that deck, sadly. And I've already done that deck really recently, so we might not do it again. It really just depends once we see what is in the new rotation or not. Can they deal with a 12-12? Okay, a school teacher. Please don't get a polymorph jellyfish. Oh, freeze is not polymorph jellyfish, but it does serve something very similar. Oh, Kazakus could be incredibly fun. Let's just put down Glug though. So if they kill the big giant dragon, we have a huge Glug. I've had a golden Kazakus, and I think the entire year Kazakus has been out in his non-dragon form, or a year and a half, I guess, at this point. This is probably the first deck that I'm actually using him in. Maybe there was an older list, but I'm pretty sure this is the only one that I've used him in, which is actually quite insane to actually think about. It's been such a meta warping mercenary that it's just a shame that he's not that good in standard. I mean, his dragon form is good, and I think there's 2 classes that I haven't done with Kazakus yet, or Kazakazan I should say, which is Shaman and Death Knight, and better believe it, I will have both of those out before he rotates out. That I will promise you. Because when it comes to build around cards, he's just what we needed to see. AoE buff, then we can put down Rot Gill, buff up everything as long as they don't have some type of AoE polymorph. We can evolve this too just to see what we grab. If only that was an end of turn effect. Why aren't all the abominations at end of turn? Ooh, that animation is really smooth. I don't actually know if I've ever seen that animation. Well, our Glug is probably about to get incredibly... Oh, no. That could be a big problem. Shattering Blast. Oh, of course, they got a mass polymorph and have... Solid Alibi. Just the perfect combination of shit to annoy me. Well, we can attack with that, and we can attack with this. Let's use the Greater Golem, which gives everything a few more. And if only we could actually do damage to their face this turn. Well, the sheep was going to probably die anyway, so we're just going to kill all of their sheep with our golems and our sheep. We'd be counting sheep, and they're down to 1. Oh, who's going to be more powerful? A brilliant macaw, or what is that bird? Every time, whenever I need the solid alibi off a rune of the Archmage, it never gives me it. But the second that I'm playing against someone else, every single time, solid alibi. I guess I just don't have a solid alibi for any of the decks that may or may not be war crimes that I put out. Oh, mailbox dancer number 2. Well, if we had a mass AoE clear, how do we want to do this? We're going to check for objection here. I guess just hit the parrot. Might as well. Oh, explosive trap or runes. Get rid of their mailbox dancer. And we can place... do we want to place this down? We could draw 3 cards. Drawing 3 cards is really nice. Also, searches through our deck so we have a smaller deck for the next turn and next draw. I think the only Murlocs in our deck are Mutanus now. And maybe 1 Clownfish, which isn't bad. Okay, Drakefire Amulet. Please don't get something really cool. That is not something really cool. That is... Well, how do we want to do this? Could put down the Venomous Scorpid. Oh, Primal Wave could be interesting. Let's stick it for later. I don't know how necessarily good it is per se. We're going to put down the Clownfish. What we're hoping for is a certain Firemancer named Fergal. And there we go, exactly what we needed to see. Then we can coin out the second Amalgam. Why not? We don't have that many Murlocs left, but that sure do it. That wave sure did wave over our minions and sink theirs into nothingness. I don't know where I was going with that. To be honest, the minions that we actually got off of the primal wave are pretty bad for the most part. The Berserker would be funny if they actually allowed it to live, but they're not going to. Okay, are they going to get another solid alibi? Round 3? Oh, freeze everything. Okay. Oh, Pyroblast gets rid of one of our minions. That's not the worst runes that I've ever seen. Mass Polymorph number 2. We're just repeating the last runes, I guess, without the solid alibi. Their luck has finally ran out. Oh, that's kind of funny. I don't know how useful it is right now, but it is kind of funny. It means we can get almost full combo. Put down our clownfish. We're just clowning around and then sheeping their face a little bit or shearing their face. Sometimes I don't know where I'm going with what I'm trying to say. Oh, second flame. Be honest, that's probably not a good target for you to do that on. I don't really... Oh no, we just gave them a free Drake Fire Amulet. Come on, nothing cool, nothing cool. Hey, a taunt isn't really that cool. Hey, Kazakus or Kazakazan. Alright, what minions could they possibly have in hand? Let's nom nom something cool. Yeah, Fire Eye. They always have Fire Eye. That was actually probably the only way we lose the... Oh, that is really, really nice. We can just pass the turn. Maybe? Actually, let's get rid of one of the minions and then put Maze Guide down. It's a 1-1. That's probably going to die instantly. We did feed into our Fool, so we're no longer the Fool. We have Bolner, Alistair in hand. I think we use both Brilliant Macaw, so they're no longer there. I don't know what their win condition is at this point. Maybe getting Magister would help. Oh, build a Brute. That could be really bad in the long run. Of course, they're going to freeze out our 12-12. Okay, we need to get rid of some things on the board. Primordial Wave. Now, does that do what I want it to do is the question. I think this is just the safer bet, to be honest. Then we can draw 3, and then... let's just gain armor. We need the armor. I didn't realize how low we were actually. Come on, give us a taunt. We don't get the taunt. Probably shouldn't have attacked that. Probably should have just won face. Let's just hope it doesn't cost me the game. But we do have 2 Alistair Battlecrys for next turn, which is kind of funny. Doesn't win it. Does it win us the game? It could win us the game. If they don't have a way to deal with the entire board, it wins us the game. Or freeze out our entire board. Now... I knew that they didn't really have anything left in their deck to do anything with that, but it's still funny that they try to place it down. Okay. Mutanus is not long for this world, it doesn't feel like. Or, oh, okay, that's not how I would have expected them to do that. Oh, now that is a nice top deck, because we can heal and put 2 taunts in front of us, I think. Yeah, let's heal. Saves Mutanus for an additional turn, and then we just go face. We're going to leave them a bloody mess at the end of this game. Sorry, my friend, that does not do what you need it to do. Oh, Brilliant Macaw is the top deck. That's funny. Let's wham bam and see where this ends up. Just need to be below 20 or 12. And Mutanus for face. Alright, now that we're through the game, so let's discuss my final thoughts of the deck. Overall, this deck performed incredibly well. I knew it would, and it probably would have been a lot better a week or 2 before when Astalor wasn't actually nerfed, but it turns out removing just 2 damage from him doesn't really affect this deck in any ways, and you have a lot of other really powerful Battlecrys to actually abuse in this deck too. Speaking of one of those, Kazakus is honestly really great in this deck. It's a card that I've been wanting to use for quite a long time, and it felt like this would be the perfect home to do so. It has so much flexibility within this deck as either an early game removal tool, a way to draw additional cards, or a AoE buff so you can actually get through some of your opponent's minions or just hit their face for a lot of damage. Across the 20 games that I played with the deck, I had a 55% win rate, which was actually pretty good, and is an easy recommendation for you all to try out. Like always, if you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, bye bye.